Good morning. After 3 nights staying in the one place, we're finally on the road again. We spent the last 3 nights in the Zion Canyon RV park and lodge thing, and spent the last couple days exploring Zion. And now we are heading out to, first of all, to Walmart to stock up again, and then driving on to Death Valley to do Death Valley National Park tomorrow. We were hoping to be able to go to the Grand Canyon today, but we're unsure if the road's closed or not, and we don't want to drive 2 hours out of the way to find that it is. And we would only really get a couple hours there because we then need to head on to Death Valley. So we're going to save that for another trip and instead just head off to Death Valley today. So let's go! We've parked up for the night at our dispersed camping spot, and as far as the dispersed camping spots go that we've done this trip, this one has to be the fanciest. It's literally 100-200 feet from the road, but it's a pretty quiet road, so I don't think we're going to be getting disturbed by that. There's concrete pads to park on. This parking spot, this camp spot is actually called pads for that reason. But yeah, there's 1, 2, 3. I think there's 4 other campers here, and then there's one guy who's setting up a tent. But we're surrounded by mountains. It's not too windy, but it's nice. It's not super warm. The sun's about to go down because daylight savings ended yesterday, so the sun's going down at 10 to 5. But it's only supposed to get down to 50 tonight, so that should be okay. Mr. Loki's happy that he gets to be out of the camper and gets to run around and have fun. And yeah, we've got our chair set up. I think we're using that fire pit. Might bring out our own. Might see some stars. Not sure. It's still the full moon was last night, so not sure if we're gonna actually see any stars, but it'll still be a pretty nice night. And then tomorrow we're going to head out early to the actual national park itself, which starts 5 miles away from here, so that should be fun. Good morning. We've woken up at our dispersed camping site, the pads, in Death Valley. It was a pretty nice night. We actually ended up going to sleep at like 7 p.m. because we were both still really worn out from the hike and then the long drive to get here. So yeah, went to sleep at about 7 last night. I woke up at 10 to 6 this morning. I set an alarm for 6. I woke up 10 to 6 because the sun was actually already pretty far up. But yeah, we watched the sunrise. We watched the sunrise while we had our coffee. And now we're getting ready to head out to explore Death Valley. So it should be pretty nice. We're going to spend a couple hours there, and then we have to drive a pretty long way to Sequoia National Park, which is I think 6 hours away. It's really annoying because it's actually right next to Death Valley, but you have to go, so it's like Death Valley here, Sequoia here, but you have to go all the way around to the other side of the park. There's no road in from this side. It's quite annoying, but they want it to be nature. But yeah, it's a really great spot, considering it's 200 feet from a road. There's still only 1, 2, 3, 4 campers, and I think there's 3 cars. So there's probably like 3 or 4 tent people. But yeah, great wee spot if you're going to Death Valley. Highly recommend it. But for now, we have to get packed up and head into Death Valley. So let's go.
Good morning. This morning we are in Death Valley National Park, and our first stop this morning is at a place called Zabriskie Point, which is supposed to be a great viewpoint outlook area for looking over the Badlands and mountains here in the park. So we'll take a look when we get up there. a little bit of a climb. That's where we're going, up there. But it's not far.
So all of these little hills are actually silt and clay, and then they've just been like eroded from the wind, and then parts like that are a different colour are actually lava from volcanic eruptions throughout the millions of years. Everywhere you look, it's just breathtaking. Wow. It's nice that they include little benches if you need to stop along the way, and you can sit for a few minutes with the view. The second seat's view is a little more impressive than the first. You've got all the rolling hills that have been eroded. Pretty cool. So it's one of the better benches you could sit on in the United States. Bench number 3 wins so far. Bench number 4 offers a pretty similar outlook to bench number 3, but you also get a view this way as well. And then the view from the top wins, because it's just 360 degrees. That's where we started. And all the way up here.
This is me being brave again. We've arrived at Water Basin, which is the lowest elevation in the entire Western Hemisphere. I think it's 282 feet below sea level, and you can see it because there is the sea level sign up on that cliff. You can see there's still a little bit of water here, but most of it is evaporated and is all just salt. And they've actually created a little boardwalk here out to the salt path that you can walk all the way out there to. And we're heading out that way now. Even the terrain is like tundra here.
We're all done with the salt flats, and now we're heading on to Artist Drive / Pallet. It's a 3-mile drive, I think.
/ pallet.
But hopefully there are some stops along the way that we can get out, because apparently the colors there are beautiful. So that's what's next. Reached Artist's Pallet, and this is the overlook. And this is all the pretty colors in the mountains and oxidizing metals. There's green, pink, yellow, maybe some orange. You can actually hike. There's a gal just up there. You can hike all the way up there, or you can hike down there. I don't think we're going to do either because it's actually really hot. We do kind of have a generator. definitely worth a stop.
We've just arrived at the Mesquite Flat Sand Dunes in Death Valley. This is the spot that Jamie really wanted to go to. One of his bucket list items, if you will. And so we just parked and are getting out and hiking across the dunes here. And yeah, it's pretty. I did not, unfortunately, see any spot to rent sandboarding boards. So, I guess we won't be doing any sandboarding. The sand is so fine, it's like talcum powder. It's really soft, not gritty at all. The view from up here is pretty spectacular. It's pretty here. So those are star dunes over there, and these are crescent dunes over here. We learned that on our guided audio trip out here.